So there was a recent software update on the printer. At the firmware update, it was 2.37, and as soon as I updated my printer, I started having issues with my calibrations. So like even leveling the bed was an issue. The print head would just go down to the plate, and it would hit the plate, and it would just start bouncing on the plate. So I couldn't even get past like the initial restart of the printer when I did the software update. I tried restoring the system. I tried cleaning parts out. I tried unplugging everything. I tried replugging. I tried everything that I could to kind of try to fix it before I even reached out to anycubic, and because I kind of like to try to figure things out on my own. But once I realized that I was kind of stuck, I reached out to them, and they said that I was having issues with the strain gauge, and that they would just send me one free of charge. So shout out to them. They've got great customer service. They've sent me free hot ends. They've replaced it once or twice. And then I had issues with the printer, and like I said, this is the strain gauge. It's a tiny little piece. I looked at the wiki, and I tried finding a video, and I couldn't really find anything. So I figured I would try to make my own little video, and go through the struggles of it. So I don't know if it's gonna be a short video, a long video, but I'm gonna try to do a video on my own to kind of hopefully it would help somebody else. And maybe they'll have a easier time finding the video, and maybe they can replace it. But I took the print head off. There's 4 bolts in the back. It's basically the same 4 bolts or screws, whatever that you want to call, that you put on here when you first install the print head. Once you take those 4 off, you want to take all your tubes off and your data cable off. I printed this cool little hub it was like a 5 tube hub, and it's kind of cool because it just twists off and it comes off, and it's pretty smooth inside. So I've had no issues with it actually. I like it a lot. If you guys want the link, just comment on the video and ask for it. And I'll try to figure that out. I don't make a lot of videos, so I don't know how to do that stuff. But like I said, once you take this off, you'll pop this piece open up front, and then you'll unplug everything from the inside. I'm gonna readjust the camera real quick so I can kind of do this on the table, and like I said, go through the whole process, and hopefully it's not too difficult. We'll see. Alright, so if you guys don't know how to take this off, you kind of just squeeze the side pieces right here, and it'll pop off. Careful not to jerk it too hard because there is cables attached to it, and you could break them. Mine actually, on the last video, I kind of mentioned that they ripped off. When the print head actually came off, it ripped a whole assembly off, and it only ripped these 2 cables out. But just kind of unplug everything and get this out of the way. Don't need to mess with that at all. Unplug those. If you want to take the print head off, you can. You just pull in this little pin, you pull it off to the side. I think the strain gauge is actually this metal piece that floats over that right there. I could be wrong, but like I said, I'll figure it out right now. I do have the wiki pulled up on my laptop over here, but I might pause the video here and there to kind of go through it and make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. But it doesn't say to take it off, but I kind of want to just take it out of the way so I don't have all these cables hanging out. I might have to put it back on here once I go to see what the wiki says. But like I said, pull that off to the side and then over, and once it's up here, that should be able to just come out. We'll put that off to the side, and this cables are just for the fans. I am going to pause it real quick to see what the next steps are, but I believe there's 2 screws that are way down there. I'll try to get a little flashlight on my head so that we can see a little better, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I was wrong. It wasn't the 2 inside. It's this one, and then this 2 in the back. I'm guessing this one, and that one. So there's one. There's the other one. And then these two are the smaller piece. That one. There's two. There goes this whole piece. And there's that. So then this is the new piece, and I'm guessing this cable is that cable, because that's what it shows in the wiki actually. So yeah, 4 ports. So let's just unplug that. Looks like it's got some type of glue maybe holding it down. It seems kind of hard to take out. There you go. Yeah, it's got a little bit of glue on there holding it together. So you just have to pull kind of hard on there. But the next step is to take this piece out, because that's the sensor right there. It's basically in like that. So I got to figure that out next. So I'm going to pause it again real quick and look at the wiki again. Okay, so I wasn't entirely wrong. You do have to take the two in here out real quick. And then, yeah, so take them out. So I just realized that as I'm recording that I might have not been completely centered the way my phone stand works or whatever. It kind of blocks the whole screen, so it's not super useful, but I'll kind of do a quick little recap in a second and go from there. Hopefully, like I said, the video isn't ruined, but I really don't want to put this together and take it back out just to do the video again. Okay, so quick little recap. This was kind of in there like that. So there was a screw here on each side. So it's like this, right? So is this 2 screws and this 2 in the back lets you take this housing off. Once you have that housing off, you'll go in there and there's 2 more screws. You'll take those out, and then you have access to this, and then you just swap this old part for the new part. I really don't know how this thing works. So there's just a piece of metal, and then it's got this attachment on it. So I'm gonna take this off real quick. There's that. I really don't know what's wrong with this other piece. I mean, the glue looks, I don't know. I really don't know. The sensor, there's that piece right there. That looks slightly different. And obviously the color. But I don't know. Maybe this is what caused the problem. This little bit of filament stuck on there. But either way, I gotta put this back on here real quick. Okay, so when you go to put this back on, the round piece is gonna go on top here. And then you're just gonna throw these 2 fucking things on here real quick. I wouldn't over tighten them too much. I would just make sure that they're on there. Just snug. There we go. So then this is gonna go back on here. 1, 2. Make sure this cable is tucked underneath because you're gonna plug that back in here. There's 2 little tabs actually in the back here. I'll turn this my fancy light on that I talked about earlier. So there's 2 little tabs in here, and those are gonna sit in here, so you shouldn't have any issues lining that up. Once you have those 2 on, it's gonna be your medium-sized screws. I know I kind of just dumped mine on the table, but there are different sizes luckily, so we're gonna take this here and try to get it in there. Make sure that cable is out of the way like we mentioned. And just to kind of make it easier on yourself, I would even recommend, bam, throwing those on here before you set it down. Try not to push it down too hard, that way they don't fall out. But again, cable under the board, top piece on the tabs, and then just tighten them up. So there's those 2. I like to tighten it with the short piece out so that I can't put that much torque underneath it or on it and mess anything up. So there's those. It's actually pretty simple, honestly. Make sure you connect your important little cable back on here. So I went and grabbed some tweezers real quick because I'm having a hard time putting this back on. But make sure that it's in there correctly. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause it real quick just for the sake of the video, but because I'm already at like 13 minutes, but this has to go back in here, and I don't want to show the struggle, I guess. So I figured I would put this on video. So the reason I can't get this back on here is because that glue from earlier is actually in the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and you can see it right here. Just take it off. You can see it right there, stuck to the tweezers. So it's like, you can see it right there. But that's why it wasn't going in. It wasn't that I'm a dummy or anything like that. So just kind of clean it as best as you can. This shouldn't get in the way, but I'm gonna clean it off anyways. So I got all of it off. Hopefully it goes in a lot smoother now. So I think I'm putting it on the wrong way. The